Welcome back. All right, 12 games to review if you're looking for the matinee games. I already reviewed those ones earlier in a video all by itself. And yeah, 12 games tonight, starting off with a game that had a ton of goals. It was really a nice variety of games tonight. So let's go ahead and start off with the Avs and the Panthers. Anybody worried about the Panthers at all? Probably not yet. But it's Georgiev versus Bobrovsky, and 52 seconds in, Verhaeghe roofs one from a sharp angle. Lundell and Samoskevich with the assists. And it looked like it might be a long night for Georgiev. We had no idea. So the Avs press at 2 minutes. The shots are 2-1 in their favor 5 minutes in, meaning, yes, the Verhaeghe goal was the first shot of the game for Florida. Mikkola has a slapper that's kicked aside. The Panthers press at 8 minutes, but then at 9 minutes and 13 seconds, Jonathan Drouin scores his first goal of the season. Makar and Lehkonen with the assists. The Avs are doing a pretty good job too of breaking up opportunities for Florida, making sure that those third, fourth passes weren't getting done. Maybe one, maybe two, but they were breaking up passes until at 15:44. Barkov scores from Tkachuk and Mikkola to make it 2-1, and then Rantanen is denied on a breakaway. It's 2-1 Florida after one. Second period, this is where the Avs really show what they can do. 34 seconds, Drouin gets the second of the season and of the game. Makar and Taves with the assist. That was during an early press. And then at 4:04, O'Connor scores from Shillington and Ivan. Shots are 4-2 for the Avs at 7 minutes. At 8:54, they score again. This one goes in off Kulikov's skate. It's Girard from Rantanen and Nichushkin. The shots are 9-3 for the Avs with 8 minutes left. Girard breaks up a 3-on-1. And at 16:58, Colorado scores again to make it 5-2. A net feed gets tipped in by Rantanen. The assist to Girard and Taves. With 2:14 left, the Panthers get a power play, and they score on it. It's Reinhart from Ekblad and Tkachuk at 18:40. Briefly, Reinhart, your overall leader in goals with 16. He does have somebody tied with him now after tonight's action. But it's 5-3 after 2 for Colorado. Third period, Makar's a rush chance that's held. We get a power play for Florida. Becomes a 5-on-3. The Panthers score, but it's ruled goalie interference, so they challenge it. Challenge does not work, so that makes it 4-on-4 for a bit. And then everything's killed off there. Shots are 5-2 for Florida at 8.5 minutes. Things are pushed on a Georgiev hold, so we have 2 more minutes of 4-on-4 coming out of that. Colorado would score again. Shillington from Nichushkin and Rantanen. So Nichushkin gets a couple of assists tonight. That's at 15:49. And then it's an empty netter for Val Nichushkin. The assist to McKinnon and Rantanen at 17:15. Florida answers at 18:17. It's Lundell from Samoskevich and Balinskis. But your final score is 7-4 for Colorado. They go to 12-9 with the win. Florida's 12-8-1 with the loss. 3 stars are Drouin, Rantanen, and Makar. The 80s magnet being right there because there was 10 or more goals in this game. Shots on net, 8-7 Colorado in the first, 10-5 Colorado in the second, 19-7 Florida in the third. Final shots, 31-25 Florida. Power plays, Colorado 0-for-1. Florida 1-for-4. The hits, 31-9 for Florida. Georgiev saves 27 out of 31. Bobrovsky, another rough night for him. 18 saves on 24 shots. At some point, we should probably talk a bit about Bobrovsky. So, yeah, at some point, that's probably going to happen. All right, next up. Vegas and Montreal. So with so many games going on, I was like, all right, there has to be a lopsided game that I can kind of drop to pay attention to other ones. And this became that. Not initially, though. It's Hill versus Montembeault. There's a power play for Vegas. That's killed off. Shots are 2-0 for the Golden Knights. 5 minutes in, the Habs press at 6 minutes. The Habs also had some pressure with 8.5 minutes left. Vegas presses with 6 minutes left. With 3:05 left, the Habs get a power play. That leads to a shorthanded chance for Eichel. He lost the handle on that one at the net. Power play's killed off. Vegas had the best chance during that. It's 0-0 after 1. Second period. The Habs press at 2 minutes. Vegas gets some pressure, and they score. Hurdle opens the scoring from McNabb and Theodore at 4:39. It was a nice cross-ice pass and in the net. Shots are 3-2 for Vegas at 7.5 minutes, and at 8:18, Burke gets his first NHL goal. Barbashev and Eichel with the assists, and you celebrate that by scoring again at 9:09, where Barbashev scores from Eichel. So Eichel having himself quite the game. Vegas looks for another, and they find it. Tanner Pearson scores from Hanifin and Schwint at 10:35. Eichel then has a rush chance that's held, and at 17:02, Kolasar adds one to make it 5-0. Whitecloud and Hannafin with the assists. I did not need a no mercy magnet tonight, but there were a couple of games where it was very, very close. So yeah, it's 5-0 after 2. Third period, the Habs get an early power play and they score on it. Heineman breaks the shutout. Armia and Gallagher with the assists at 2:03. Vegas then gets a turn on the power play. That's killed off. Shots are 5-2 Montreal at 9 minutes, and they would score again at 13:03. It's Struble from Gallagher, and then Vegas decides to add another. Eichel scores from Barbashev and Theodore, and that's at 18:12. Your final score is 6-2 in favor of Vegas. They go to 13-6-2 on the season. Montreal 7-11-2. 3 stars, Eichel, Barbashev, and McNabb. Shots on net, 12-6 Vegas in the first, 13-2 Vegas in the second, and then 9-3 Montreal in the third. Final shots, 28-17 for Vegas. The Golden Knights 0-2 on the power play. Montreal 1-2. The hits, 40-19 for Montreal. Aiden Hill saves 15 out of 17. Montembeault saves 20 out of 25. He's replaced in the third by Primo, who saved 2 out of 3 in relief. Not the best night for Montreal, but pretty good night for Vegas, and so they move on from this. Next up, Vancouver and Ottawa. So again, with so many games on, I didn't watch nearly as much of this one as I probably would have liked to. But it's interesting to see Vancouver, Boston, Dallas, and these games all being in that order in the app. It brought me back to the good old days when I would do reviews and I would review those games first, Vancouver, Boston, or Dallas games. I don't do that anymore. Lankinen versus Ullmark. Early chances for the Canucks. In fact, 5 minutes in, they're leading in shots 4-0. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Canucks then go to the power play. That's killed off. And Quinn Hughes gets 5 minutes for boarding on Josh Norris. I don't think there's going to be anything from Department of Player Safety on this one. It wasn't as egregious as some of the other 5 minutes for boarding. It did leave the Canucks short a defenseman the rest of the game, and easily their most important defenseman. It's interesting that they still win this, because remember, they don't have Besser, they don't have Miller, they don't have Demko in net. So it's a 5-minute power play for Ottawa, and it's killed off by Vancouver. 4 shots during that. And then with 1:48 left, the Canucks get a power play, and they score on it at 18:36. It's DeBrusk from Garland and Hronik. It's a screenshot that deflects in. Now, when I say I don't expect anything from Department of Player Safety necessarily with Quinn Hughes, I could see there being a fine. I don't think that'll end up in a suspension. The Sens look to respond, but it's 1-0 Vancouver after the first. Second period, early power play for the Canucks. That's killed off. Ottawa then gets a power play, and they score on it. It is Tkachuk from Sanderson and Batherson at 3:41. The Canucks then get another power play. That's killed off. And then at 9:23, it's Bluger scoring for Vancouver from Sasson and Myers. That's Sasson's first point in the National Hockey League. His dad was in the crowd, and he was freaking out. And they showed Sasson in between periods, his dad freaking out and being so happy. And it's a nice moment. Makes it a 2-1 score. Shots are 5-4 at the half in favor of Ottawa. At 13:01, DeBrusk gets the second of the game. Sherwood and Pettersson with the assists. So Pettersson and Sherwood had pretty good games tonight. DeBrusk has a rush chance that's saved. The fans call one, the referee does not. It's 3-1 Vancouver after 2. Third period. We have 2 minutes of 4-on-4 to start. The Sens score, but they do so after the whistle. Pressed by the Sens at 4.5 minutes. The shots are only 2-1 for Ottawa at 6 minutes. At 8:41, Sherwood buries a loose puck at the net. DeBrusk and Pettersson with the assists, so that's 2 assists for Pettersson tonight. The Canucks draw a power play, which is a 5-on-3, and that ends up being killed off. Then we have a fight between Joshua and Tkachuk that kind of came out of nowhere. Then we have a power play for the Sens, so they pull the goalie to make it 6-on-4, and they would score. Giroux scores his first in 12 games. He buries this one in close. Norris with the assist at 16:29. And then they pull the goalie and they score again 6-on-5. Stützle from Giroux and Batherson at 19:16. That is the 100th career goal for Tim Stützle. Sens then nearly tie it. So Vancouver comes out of this with a 4-3 win. They go to 10-6-3 with the win. Ottawa frustrated. 8-11-1 on the season. 3 stars are DeBrusk, Sherwood, and Stützle. Shots on net, 8-7 Ottawa in the first, 10-9 Vancouver in the second, 12-4 Ottawa in the third. Final shots are 29-21 in favor of Ottawa. Power plays, Vancouver 1 for 6, Ottawa 2 for 3. The hits, 37-36 for Vancouver. I would imagine 36 or 35 of those hits were probably from Sherwood. Lankinen, 26 saves on 29 shots. And Ullmark, another rough night statistically, 17 saves on 21 shots. All right, next up, Boston and Detroit. This one, this was a slow game. I'm not gonna lie. And the way Boston's winning games right now, it's not a great watch. I mean, if you're winning, it works, right? So, Swayman versus Talbot. The shots are 1 apiece at 2.5 minutes. We get a power play for Boston, and they score in it. It is Brazeau. It was a double deflection into the net. Brazeau gets the goal from Tyler Johnson and Lowry at 8:33. So that's Tyler Johnson's first point as a Boston Bruin. Wings get a power play. That's killed off. The shots are 5-3 Detroit with 7 minutes left. So, like I said, not a lot to write on the board. Wings press with 5.5 minutes left. In the final minute, they would score. Raymond from Tarasenko and Larkin at 19:02. He scores that one from the right circle on a rush. It's 1-1 after one. Second period, there's an early power play for the Wings. That's killed off. The Wings press 5 minutes in. Halfway through the period, the shots are 6 apiece. We get a power play for Boston. That's killed off. The Wings then get a turn on the power play. That leads to a shorthanded 2-on-1. Zaka's denied there. That power play's killed off. And then Kopp's denied on a buzzer beater attempt. So after the second period, it's still 1-1. Third period, Pastrnak has a rush chance that's defended. The shots are 4-0 Boston at 3.5 minutes. Playing with some urgency, which is what, is a positive if you're looking at the Bruins comparatively speaking to, a week ago. Talbot is the reason this game's tied too early in the third. Geekie has a chance that's held. The Bruins press at the half. And at 11 minutes and 30 seconds, Marchand scores. He scores from Peak and Pastrnak. He just turns and roofs it from the right circle. Makes it 2-1. The shots were 12-3 for Boston with 4 minutes left. With 1:22 left, the Wings get a power play. They don't generate a lot, though. Boston holds on. Your final score is 2-1 for the Bruins. They go to 10-9-3 with the win. With the loss, Detroit 8-10-2 on the season. 3 stars, Marchand, Raymond, and Brazeau. Your shots, 8-5 Detroit in the first, 11-7 Boston in the second, 13-5 for the Bruins in the third. They outshoot Detroit 29-20. Power plays, Boston 1 for 2, Detroit 0 for 4. The hits, 23-9 for Boston. Swayman needed this, 19 saves on 20 shots. Talbot was very good, 27 saves on 29 shots. A lot of talk about him maybe being the goaltender for Four Nations for Team Canada. It's not the worst option they have. So, yeah, I would be fine with that. All right, last game on this board, Dallas and Tampa. This is the first time this has happened all season. This is something I had happen often last season. This is the first time it's happened this season. So it's Ottinger versus Vasilevsky. The Bolts press at 2.5 minutes. Points denied on a rush. And then at 4:09, Cirelli opens the scoring for Tampa. Hagel and Chafee with the assists. But we end up with that game getting tied up. It's a point shot that just trickles through. Dodonov with the goal from Lyubushkin and Steele at 6:05. But Tampa Bay gets the lead back. And it's Cirelli that gets it. He scores from Lilleberg and Hagel at 8:34. We then get a power play for the Lightning. That's killed off. And before the period's done at 15:49, Miro Heiskanen ties the game at 2. That goal from Matt Duchene. 3:34 left. The Bolts get a power play. That becomes a 4-on-4. Stankoven has a slot shot that's held. Everything gets killed off there. It's 2-2 after 1. Second period, a net feed to Gensel gets blocked. The shots are 4-3 Dallas, 4.5 minutes in. Sagan's denied. Vasilevsky holds. The teams trade rushes. Shots are 6 apiece at 9.5 minutes. We get a power play for Tampa Bay. That's killed off. The Bolts press with 4 minutes left. Dodonov nearly gets one, but he does draw a power play. As with 57 seconds left, Dallas goes to the power play. So it's 2-2 after 2, but Dallas is on a power play to start the third, which has a wrister by Stankoven that's held, and that power play is killed off by Tampa. Hagel has a net feed that's picked off, and then at 6:55, Matt Duchene scores from Tyler Seguin. We then get a power play for Dallas, and they score on it. So at 7:53, 58 seconds after they get the 3-2 goal, they get the 4-2 goal by Rope Hintz from Johnston and Robertson. So that makes it 4-2. Bolts look to respond. Johnston's denied on a 2-on-1 rush. Tampa pulls the goalie to no avail. Your final score is 4-2 for Dallas. They go to 13-6 with the win. With the loss, Tampa Bay 10-7-2 on the season. Your 3 stars are Duchene, Cirelli, and Heiskanen. Shots on net, 13-10 Tampa in the first, 9-8 Dallas, and 9-8 Dallas in the third. So same shots in the second and third period. Final shots, 29-28 for Tampa. Power plays, Dallas 1 for 3, Tampa 0 for 3. The hits, 31-10 for Tampa Bay. Ottinger, 27 saves on 29 shots. Vasilevsky, 24 saves on 28 shots. And now we need to change boards. There is one No Mercy magnet on the board, and it's right here. So And of course, with the 5-game boards, I don't have room at the top to put it up there, so I just throw it at the bottom. Same thing. So Utah seemed to take out their frustrations on those poor Penguins tonight. Vejmelka versus Nedeljkovic. Early power play for the Penguins. That's killed off. There's a press by Pittsburgh at 3.5 minutes. In fact, the shots are 4-0 Pittsburgh, 4.5 minutes in. Utah presses at 5 minutes. Eventually, they score. McBain on a great pass. He buries it. Gunther and Cooley with the assists at 8:54. And then at 13:07, Sergachev scores from Keller and Schmaltz to make it 2-0. That one's wired from the high slot. Schmaltz scores, but it's goalie interference. Nick Schmaltz isn't allowed to have a goal. So it's 2-0 after one, and while Schmaltz had some points tonight, none of them were goals. Second period, Schmaltz is tonight in close because he's not allowed to get a goal. We get a power play for the Penguins, which is 2 minutes of 5-on-3. They do score late in it. Crosby from Carlson at 3 minutes and 11 seconds, and that's important because that is goal number 600 in the career of Sidney Crosby. Again, Carlson sets that one up. Utah kills off the 5-on-4. The Penguins press at 6 minutes. We then get a power play for Utah, and they score on it. At 10:37, it's Bjugstad from Kesselring and Carcone. He wires that one past a screen. Penguins press to respond. We get a power play for Utah. That's killed off, but it's 3-1 for the Utah Hockey Club after the second period. Third period, the shots are 2-0 for the Penguins at 2 minutes. We get a power play for the Penguins. That becomes 4-on-4, meaning it's a Utah power play on the other side, and they score on it. Gunther from Schmaltz and Keller at 6:38. This is a power play that was ice cold and went 0 for 7 in a game recently, and didn't look good. Tonight it looked great. So good cycle and buried by Gunther. And then at 7:25, Kerfoot deflects in a point shot. Lamoureux and Carcone with the assist. So Carcone's been ice cold. He got a couple helpers tonight. We then get a power play for Utah, and they score on it. Gunther from a sharp angle. Cooley and Keller with the assists at 15:59. It is a 6-1 win for Utah. They go to 8-9-3 with the win. With the loss, Pittsburgh 7-12-4. I wore a Penguins jersey for the preview for the weekend, thinking, well, they should win one of these two. They got to start playing better, right? Nope. 3 stars, Gunther, Cooley, and Crosby. Shots on net, 11-10 Utah in the first, 12-9 Pittsburgh in the second, 10-6 Utah in the third. Final shots 30-28 for Utah. Power plays, Utah goes 3 for 4. That's going to help their percentage. Pittsburgh 1 for 4. The hits 42-31 for Pittsburgh. Vejmelka saves 27 out of 28. Nedeljkovic, rough night for him, 24 saves on 30 shots. All right, next up, New Jersey and Washington. So it was Allen versus Lindgren. The shots are 2-0 Devils at 4 minutes. We get a power play for the Devils. That becomes 4-on-4. Everything's killed off there. The Caps press at 7 minutes. Eventually, they get that first goal. It is Roy getting his first as a Cap from Sandin and Lapierre at 13:52. Things are pushy and punchy with 5:21 left. The Devils come out of that with a power play. And at 16:31, Tatar has one that just trickles in. Howla and Luke Hughes with the assists. It's 1-1 after the first period. Second period, early press by the Caps. The shots are 4-1 in their favor. 5 minutes in, but it's New Jersey that gets the lead. Dillon scores from Tatar at 7:08. We then had a fight between Kovacevic and Duhaime. Caps press at the half. We then get a power play for the Devils, and they score on it. It is Hamilton. On a face-off win, he puts it past a screen. Bratt and Heischer with the assists at 15:42. Devils press with 2.5 minutes left. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. And yeah, it's 3-1 after 2. And the Devils come into this one 11-0 when they lead after 2. Very good at protecting leads. Third period, there's an early power play for the Devils. The ref's told that he sucks because otherwise he's not going to know. That power play's killed off. The Caps press after they're done killing that, and they draw a power play of their own, and they score on it. McMichael tips one in close at 4:54. At the very least, it looked like he did. It's a known goal. McMichael's the last member of Washington to touch it. It does appear that when it's a known goal, they don't fault the goaltender on it. So the stats still show that Allen only allowed 1 goal. So anyways, Mangiapane is denied in close. I didn't know they did that. I didn't. Shots are 9-3 for the Caps at 8.5 minutes. We get a power play for the Devils. That's killed off. See, now that I've said it, people are going to check the app and go, actually, they've changed it. But yeah, power play for the Devils. That's killed off. The Caps press after they're done killing that off. And McMichael gets robbed during a play during the 6-on-5. But the Devils hold on. And for Jake Allen, it's win number 200 in his illustrious National Hockey League career. The Devils win this one 3-2. They go to 14-7-2 with the win. The Capitals 13-6-1, and they're 0-2 in their post Ovechkin phase, and the goal scoring has definitely become an issue. 3 stars, Hamilton, Allen, and Roy. I keep wanting to say Raw, but it's Roy. Shots on net, 13-3 New Jersey in the first, 12-11 Washington in the second, 10-9 Washington in the third. Final shots, 33-25 for the Devils. Power plays, New Jersey 2 for 5. Washington 1 for 2. The hits, 18-14 Washington. As I said, Allen, 24 saves on 25 shots. Lindgren, 30 saves on 33 shots at the other end. All right, next up, Carolina and Columbus. This is fun. This is the one I had on my tablet. I seem to have a good idea for which game I should watch in the tablet. Like this could be a really fun one. So it's Kochetkov versus Merzlikins, and on a rush, Dante Fabro scores at set 204. He's fitting in really well with Columbus. Shots are 3-0 for the Blue Jackets at 4 minutes, but Carolina ties it. It's Roslovic from Aho at 6:41. He roofs that one from the right circle. Canes press for the lead. The shots are 8-4 in favor of Carolina halfway through. But then, on a breakaway, Marchenko goes posting in at 10:20. So just after the halfway mark, Marchenko, all on his own, gets that goal. It makes it 2-1. Canes press with 7.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Carolina. That's killed off. And it's 2-1 Columbus after 1. Second period, we get a power play for Carolina. That's killed off. And then Chatfield buries one from the side of the net. Orlov and Natchez with the assists at 5:40. Ties the game at 2. We then get a power play for Columbus, and they score on it. Voronkov from Kent Johnson and Werenski at 7:10. We get a power play for the Canes. They score on that one as well. It's Aho from Natchez at 10:39. Nice cross-ice pass for the one-timer by Aho. And then Blake on a turnover buries one from the slot. Kokaniemi with the assist at 13:23. So that's a 3-goal second period so far, and it makes the score 4-3 in favor of Carolina. Canes press with 4 minutes left. With 2:27 left, the Canes get a power play. That becomes 4-on-4. So after 2 periods of play, it's 4-3 for Carolina. To start the third period, Columbus has 54 seconds left in their power play, so the Canes finish killing that. Canes press press at 4.5 minutes. The shots are 3 apiece at 8 minutes. Carolina presses with 9 minutes left. We then get a 4-minute power play for Columbus, and Carolina kills that off. Cylinders denied, the Canes clear, but then with the goalie pulled, it's another 6-on-5 goal. There's a lot of those tonight, it seems. Marchenko from Monahan and Kent Johnson at 18:54 ties the game at 4. We're going overtime. Columbus has a 2-on-1 that misfires. Kochetkov gets shaken up. Martin has to go in the net. Aho's robbed in close, but we go to the shootout. In the shootout, Sean Monahan with the winner. Columbus, they win this one in a shootout 5-4. They go to 9-9-2 on the season. With the shootout loss, Carolina's 14-5-1. 3 stars, Marchenko, Monahan, and Fabro. Your shots, 13-6 Carolina in the first, 13-12 Carolina in the second, 13-7 Columbus in the third, 3-1 Carolina in the overtime. Final shots, 36-32 for the Carolina Hurricanes. Power plays, the Canes 1 for 4, Columbus 1 for 5. The hits, 21-16 in favor of Carolina. Kochetkov saves 27 out of 31. Martin saved the only shot he faced in relief, and Merzlikins 32 saves on 36 shots. All right, next up, Winnipeg and Nashville. So it was Comrie versus Saros in this one. Nashville needs wins. They get one tonight. We'll see whether or not they can keep this roll going. So early press by the Jets. The Jets have a 3-on-1 that misfires. The shots are 2 apiece at 3.5 minutes. We get a power play for Winnipeg. That's killed off. Morrissey has a one-timer that's held, and then a point shot past a screen goes in. It's Yossi from Marchessault and Jankowski at 9:55. With 8.5 minutes left, the shots are 7-4 for Winnipeg. The Preds get some pressure with 7.5 minutes left. We get a power play for Nashville. That's killed off. Perfetti is denied in close by Saros, who had another very good game. But it's 1-0 Nashville after the first. Second period, power play for Nashville. That becomes 20 seconds of 4-on-4, and everything's killed off there. Nashville presses at 5 minutes. The shots are 7-4 Nashville at 7 minutes. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and then amidst a dogpile at the net, Lowry puts one in at 9:58. Niederreiter and Appleton with the assists. Jets press with 8 minutes left. They get some more pressure with 1.5 minutes left. They're not getting nearly enough shots, though. There's a press by Nashville that next shift, too. They had a ton of shots in the second period, but it's 1-1 after 2. Third period, early Preds power play. There's a post for Lowry, shorthanded, and then Stamkos scores on the power play at 3:20. Forsberg and Shea with the assist. He scores that one from the left circle. And then at 5:04, Marchessault scores for Nashville to give him a little bit of breathing room. The Jets press for a response. We get a power play for the Jets. That's killed off. Shots are 10-4 Nashville with 6.5 minutes left. Eventually, Winnipeg pulls the goalie, and Nashville hits the empty net. It's Yossi from O'Reilly at 18 minutes and 40 seconds. Huge win for Nashville tonight. They win this one 4-1. They go to 7-11-3 on the season. For Winnipeg, 17-4 on the season. 3 stars, Marchessault, Yossi, and Stamkos. Shots on net, 9-5 Winnipeg in the first, 18-8 Nashville in the second, 13-7 Nashville in the third. Final shots, 36-20 for Nashville. 36-24, I should say. Don't want to take 4 shots away from Winnipeg. Power plays, 0 for 3 for Winnipeg, 1 for 3 for Nashville. The hits, 29-18 for Nashville. Comrie saves 32 out of 35. Saros, 23 saves on 24 shots, and I'm mildly surprised he was not one of the 3 stars tonight. So for Winnipeg, they just have to move on and just, get that ninja dust out. They're still pretty comfortably ahead overall. All right, next up. Last one on this board is St. Louis and the New York Islanders. Binnington versus Sorokin. The Islanders get off to a good start. They're leading in shots 3-0, 5 minutes in. The Islanders press at 6.5 minutes. The Blues press at 9 minutes. The Blues get some pressure with 9.5 minutes left. The Islanders blocking the net pretty well. A net feed to Engvall gets blocked. The shots are 6-5 for the Islanders with 6 minutes left. And eventually they get the first goal. Palmieri from Nelson at 18:51. It's 1-0 Islanders after the first. Second period. The Blues had the only shot on net 2.5 minutes in. We get a power play for the Islanders. They were a post away from a 2-0 lead. That power play is killed off by St. Louis. Islanders press at 9.5 minutes. The shots are 6-3 in favor of the Islanders halfway through the period. The Islanders get pinned down for a little bit. Buchnevich hits the outside of the net. Cholowski's then denied as the Islanders press the other way. Horvat has a rush chance that's held. The Islanders draw a power play, and they score on it at 15:55. Nelson scores one from his knees. I'm sure that'll be hockey card pictures everywhere and in highlight reel packages for the Islanders. Siplikov and Holmstrom with the assists. It's 2-0 in favor of the Islanders. Blues press for response. The Islanders press in the final minute. It's 2-0 after 2. Early in the third period, the Blues get a power play, and they score on it. It's Neighbors from Buchnevich and Thomas at 45 seconds. Makes it 2-1, puts a little more tension into the game. Islanders press to respond. The shots are 4-0 for the Blues at 5.5 minutes. The Blues press at 7.5 minutes. The Islanders score, but goalie interference, so no goal. Lee's then denied. Binnington holds on. Eventually, they pull the goalie looking to get one, and it's Palmieri hitting the empty net instead from Brock Nelson at 19:24. The Islanders win this one 3-1. They go to 8-5 on the season. St. Louis 9-12-1 with the loss. 3 stars are Nelson, Sorokin, and Palmieri. Shots on net, 12-7 Islanders in the first, 12-8 Islanders in the second, 10-7 for St. Louis in the third. Final shots 31-25 for the Islanders. Power plays, St. Louis scored on the only one they had. The Islanders went 1 for 2. The hits 29-24 for the Islanders. Binnington 28 saves on 30 shots. Sorokin 24 saves on 25 shots. And let's go to board number 3. The funny thing is too, my wrists never bother me from all the writing I do on all the boards until like at night. I'll be like, what did I do to my wrist today? And I realize, I was writing for hours. Yeah, and on this angle. So that explains it. All right, so Buffalo and San Jose. A little behind the scenes nobody asked for. Buffalo trying to get themselves above that playoff line and maybe stay there. And I don't want to get hopes up. I'm at that point where I don't want to get hopes up. Reimer versus Blackwood. They had the Thornton ceremony that went on for a long time, and it was great. It did not delay the start of this game by very much either. Power play for the Sharks. That's killed off because the ceremony went on for hours before the game got started. Shots are 4-1 for San Jose at 6.5 minutes. The Sabres get stuck at one shot for a while. At 9:59, Zetterlund opens scoring for San Jose from Wallman and Eklund. But at 11:03, Krebs answers from Byram. This is where I can point out there were 11 games going on at the same time when this first period was going on. So the Sabres press in the final minute. It's 1-1 after the first period. Second period, the Sharks press at 3 minutes, but Cunnin would put San Jose ahead. He backhands one from the doorstep. Toffoli and Wenberg with the assists at 4:07. The shots are 5-1 San Jose at 5 minutes. Power play for the Sharks. Celebrini gets absolutely robbed. So pause this video and go look up Reimer Celebrini and look at that. He catches it behind him. Like I don't know how he did it. So the Sabres kill that off. Buffalo presses with 9 minutes left. The Sabres draw a power play. That's killed off. The Sabres press in the final minute, but it's 2-1 San Jose after 2. Third period. At 2:07, Cousins puts one past the screen from the slot. Power and Byram with the assists. Wallman to Costin. There's a near miss there. The Sharks then draw a power play, looking for the lead, and instead they turn it over to Alex Tuck. He gets the shorthanded goal at 5:27 to give Buffalo the lead instead, and then the Sabres finish the kill. We then get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 after that. We get a press by Buffalo at the half. The shots are 6-1 for the Sabres with 9 minutes left. The Sharks press with 8 minutes left. We get a power play for San Jose. Becomes a 5-on-3 because while they're killing the penalty, Buffalo had 5 skaters on the ice for a bit there. It's not how the power play works. So everything gets killed off, and we're down to 4 minutes left. So huge kill there by Buffalo. With 2:58 left, the Sabres get a power play. That's killed off. The goalie pull happens, of course, and Dahlin hits the empty net just before the buzzer at 19:59. Your final score is 4-2. Buffalo goes to 11-9-1 on the season. San Jose 6-12-5. 3 stars are Reimer, and Reimer. They should be, but it's Reimer, Byram, and Toffoli. Shots on net, 16-11 San Jose in the first, 12-11 San Jose in the second, 9-5 Buffalo in the third. Final shots, 33-31 San Jose. Power plays, Buffalo 0-2, San Jose 0-5. The hits, 45-20 for San Jose. Reimer saves 31 out of 33, and Blackwood, 27 saves on 30 shots. All right, and last game of the night, Rangers in Edmonton. Jonathan Quick versus Skinner. Early press by the Rangers, but they don't get shots out of it. The shots are 3-0 Oilers at 4 minutes. The Oilers press at 4.5 minutes. More pressure by the Oilers at 8 minutes. McDavid's net feed is held, and then they play Deutschland by Rammstein. I will always put that on the board when I hear that during a game, and I only hear it in Edmonton. It is still my favorite song that I've ever heard. So Draisaitl is a rush that's defended by Panarin. Bouchard has a screenshot that's held. Quick was having a fantastic game. And honestly, the score, they lit up Quick, and the Oiler fans were mocking him late. I thought Jonathan Quick's the only reason this score isn't like 12-1, 13-2. Like, Jonathan Quick was fantastic. So Podkolzin beats out an icing call. And then later on at 17:33 on a rush, Podkolzin gets what's his first goal as an Oiler and his first goal in 44 games played. Draisaitl and Brown with the assists. Vasily is busted as you know what to get there. So kudos to him for that, and hopefully it's a sign that he's going to start putting the puck in the net more regularly. With 1:03 left, the Rangers get a power play. Then they turn the puck over, which you shouldn't do, and Nurse scores the shorthanded goal from Janmark at 19:51. He also smacked himself in the head with a smile on his face as if to say, I'm fine. So it's 2-0 in favor of the Oilers after 1, because of course Nurse returning from the head injury he suffered a week ago. So it's 2-0 after 1. Second period, the Oilers finish the kill on that Rangers power play. We then get a power play for Edmonton. There's a post for McDavid on a 3-on-1 rush. That power play's killed off. Puck's cleared out after. Rangers press at 6 minutes. The shots are 7-4 for the New York Rangers at 7 minutes. The Rangers draw a power play. That becomes a 4-on-4. And on the give and go on that 4-on-4, the Oilers score. Draisaitl from McDavid at 8:54 on 2-on-1 rush. And these guys just have great chemistry. They're moving up the list of all-time assists on goals for a player. They're not close to Gretzky being the all-time leader with his passing to Curry, but I do feel like if they stay in Edmonton long enough together, they'll get there. So everything gets killed off from there, and then Bouchard at 11:57 on a wrister from the slot. Janmark and Henrique with the assists. And I put on the board poor Quick because he's allowed 4 because the defense in front of him. I'm trying to think of a way to put this that doesn't involve cursing. So it was not good is where I'm going to go with that. Then at 15 minutes, Panarin breaks the goose egg for Skinner. He scores from Fox. It goes through Skinner from the left circle. Kreider has a rush chance then that's held. There was some momentum for the Rangers, but it's still 4-1 Oilers after 2. Third period, Lafreniere gets denied. The rebound's cleared. Rangers press at 3.5 minutes. The shots are 3-1 in favor of the Rangers at 4.5 minutes. There's a near miss for Riley Smith on a net drive, and then the puck goes the other way, and it's a tic-tac-toe play. Not great defense there. Just sticks in the lane, something. McDavid scores from Bouchard and Kapanen at 5:49. So for Kasperi Kapanen, that's his first point as an Oiler. Then at 9:37, McDavid just goes around Quick and buries one while the defense just watches him. They might as well just applaud it, really. Stetcher with the assist to that. This guy's good. Do you see this here, Coach? Coach doesn't seem happy, but we're applauding. We get a power play for New York. That's killed off. The Oilers then get a turn. That's killed off too. And then just to make sure that the no mercy magnet doesn't go on the board, Panarin scores the second of the game. Lafreniere with the assist at 16:29. It's a wrister from the slot, and it makes the final score 6-2. The Oilers go to 11-9-2 with a needed victory. The Rangers 12-6-1. Probably glad to be out of Western Canada, to be honest. 3 stars. I picked my own 3 stars because this game just finished when I was starting this up, so I'm not gonna. I'm sure by now the 3 stars are on the app. But I pick McDavid, Skinner, and Draisaitl. Shots on net 21-9. Edmonton in the first. That's insane. The second period 16-10 Rangers. Third period 10-9 Rangers. Final shots 40-35 for the Oilers. Power plays both teams go 0 for 3. The hits 21-12 for the Rangers. Quick 34 saves on 40 shots. He had no support in this game. Skinner 33 saves on 35 shots, and you could see how frustrated Quick was. I think it was the 4th goal where you could see he was visibly ticked off. I don't know if he's mad at himself or if it was where's the defense, but he would be justified in asking where the defense was. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.